Welcome back, everyone. We're back today. Just me, another solo review. Going to be covering the entirety of the first season of Freeform's new mystery show, Cruel Summer. I can't stress this enough. If you have not seen it, leave. I don't mean to kick anyone out, but this is the show that more than anything else, you need to you just need to go. You need to go. You need to if you want to know if you should watch it, my short review, yes, you should watch it. It's not scary in a conjuring type way. It is fairly emotionally intense, so be wary of that. But watch it. It's an incredible mystery. It's an incredibly acted show, and I'm telling you right now, it is not going to get the attention I feel it deserves. We'll see how it goes down the road. Um, if it gets hit with that Riverdale effect where it becomes popular on streaming and after its first season, but this show is unreal. This show is freaking insane, and I would highly recommend it. Be wary of it. It deals with the kidnapping. It deals with being held in captivity, but it's an incredibly insightful show. It's an incredibly acted show, and this is gonna be full spoilers. This is a show you want to go into knowing as little as you possibly could. And so if you haven't seen it, come back. Um, come back. Let us know in the comments. Just just go watch the show. You want to experience this as much unknown and as raw as you can get it. So if I'm assuming if you're sticking around, you have seen it, and in that case, excuse me, well, here is my series review of Cruel Summer. So, man, I just finished the finale, and I don't even know where to start. I'll start by saying that they've already been confirmed for season 2. My preference is that they'll do and make it an anthology series, because even though there are things that I feel kind of wrapped up a bit quickly without any much explanation in the season finale, I feel like that story has run its course. I can't foresee a way they can go back and repeat that, go through that whole thing again. And I mean, maybe they'll come up with something, but it has to be something really, really brilliant, because as far as I'm concerned, quite literally, beginning, middle, and end has all been covered within the realm of this particular story. Our two rivals have come to a sort of common ground. Everything relatively is wrapped up. Now, of course, not everything wrapped up in the way that I necessarily would have preferred. There's few just like minor plot threads I would like personally would have liked to be addressed, but for the most part, everything, all questions has been answered. Everything has come full circle, and so I think it would be a dangerous risk, in my opinion, to try and continue the arc of these characters. I'd rather them take the True Detective approach or the Castle Rock approach of maybe having references and maybe a character to pop over, but for the most part, I really would just prefer them to not try to do any more, because this was an crazy, unbelievable story, and to end it in the way it did and to try and push it's a really solid 50-50 chance. It's either going to work or it isn't. There's going to be no in between. So I personally would prefer it to just be an anthology show. That being said, just to go, we'll start with the negatives because I have more positives to say than negatives, but we'll just get into negatives. Again, just show as a whole. Um, I kind of wish the characters of Vince and Mrs. Wallace, the mom, just got a bit more attention near the end. There's nothing wrong with them, and their performances were great. It just I kind of wish like Vince reconnects with his boyfriend, and that kind of wraps that storyline up. Even though I don't know, I felt like it was kind of like it was a weird branch off. I thought it was gonna circle back to the Wallace versus Turner situation, but it didn't. And not that it had to. It kind of like petered off and then just got loss amidst the shuffle of the finale. But everything before, I mean, I did enjoy Vince's performance as the mediator. I think he was a great sort of calming presence when everyone else wasn't. The boyfriend, his character, I he was kind of, I can't remember when exactly he was introduced. He was all right. He felt a bit superfluous to the plot. I will admit. As for the mom, I think only I just wanted a sense of reckoning between her and Kate because I feel there was a lot to unpack there from her and their relationship that just wasn't touched on. She like the mom literally shows up for one scene. It's in the past, so she doesn't even really have any impact, which is crazy because she really was one of the driving forces of both Kate's character and Kate's story. So I feel like I just wanted some sort of like final reckoning between them, or just final scene between them, acknowledging everything. I guess similar could be said for Jamie. James a lousy boyfriend. No offense to the actor, he did his job. But what a ridiculous boyfriend, man. I like one of my friends started dating such a guy I wouldn't know. That guy was just all over. But and even him, like I do like that he reconnected with Jeanette, and I guess they're dating according to Jeanette at the end of the finale. Um, I don't know, like maybe one again, just another scene with Kate, maybe just to tie things up, just wrap up these relationships. But I mean, and then this relates to my season two comes. If they choose to go forward, this could be a chance to like further them. But again, like I said, I don't want to be repeating myself, but that'd be just going back and forth. So yeah, just minor like character stuff, just stuff I wish that were focused, even like Jeanette's dad and the uh his girlfriend. I would have loved to see another scene since they were building up that relationship a while. Although that ice cream scene was a nice little bit. Um, but I do understand that the choice was to keep things focused on the two girls. And I realize now I've been talking just about the finale. Talk about the series as a whole. Any other negatives? Um, Not really, actually. And I don't want to make it seem like the finale was the weakest episode because it wasn't. I can't really say which one was the weakest. I would say most all of them were equally just engaging and fascinating. Um, I don't know. Really, it's just any minor. I was really invested in a lot of these characters and seeing how to get that lack of sort of satisfaction or catharsis is what's standing out currently. But really, when it comes to negatives, I mean, no performances were really bad. I would say maybe of some of Jeanette's storylines in the past. I would say like after the first episode, 1993 became a very like tenuous like year for her storylines. Like the acting was still incredible. It's just like the imperativeness of it. I'm trying to recall like certain events. Um, a lot. I feel like Kate, just because of the nature of her storyline, just got more engaging bits. But again, that's really nitpicking. I think um, I think still, I was still very charmed since 1993 was like the innocent section, and then like there was still a lot of great storytelling to bookend all the moving parts of the show. So I don't know. I guess that's really about it for negatives. As for positives, um, I just want to make sure I'm getting her name correctly, but Kiara, sorry, I hope I pronounced it. Kiara Aurelia as Jeanette. It's very early to tell. I would love to see her get Emmy nomination. I know that's a big thing to say. I know that's really big to like, and we're still so early in the television season. I think she deserves Emmy recognition. I think I wouldn't say necessarily a win, just depending. I don't know who else would be in this year's competition, but I think a nomination should at least be in talks, or even like I don't know, like Critics' Choice or something. Both she, particular, especially as a newcomer, deserves so much attention. It's such a great performance. I think she hits so much levels of like charm and loss and bitterness and like a very like especially with the last shot, what essentially is the last shot of the season. I instantly recalled Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates from Psycho. That's really one of the best ways to compare that performance is like they both Perkins and Aurelia hit this like small town charm, someone you could like be comfortable like being alone in a room with. They seem harmless, but there's like this undercurrent of like like this very perceptive and very aware. I don't even know what to call it, but it's so like she pays attention, she knows what's going on, and like that last face, the way it just curls into a smirk. I was like, Anthony Perkins would be proud of that. That was an incredible like performance, and I was honestly thinking this since the show's pilot. She has a scene where she like gives a like a monologue about how she's the most hated person in America. And I was like, oh yeah, no, this she's legit, she's awesome. And I think like uh I missed her when she wasn't around because she was always, I think, like the performance I was always like that I just really didn't know the least, but I'll get to Kate, but like Kate, at least for the like a good chunk, we're like, okay, she's kidnapped, she's traumatized, of course, and even that had its own layers of secrets. But Jeanette, I was like, how did this nice girl turn into this? Like, how'd she get broken so far? And so I think Aurelia deserves Emmy nomination. As for Miss Olivia Holt as Kate, I would also be down to see her get nomination. I would for Aurelia a little bit more, but it's nothing to say, especially the last half of the season. The last half of the season was really Holt's part of the show. She held the fort down. I mean, again, both of them, everyone held the fort down, but like I feel like there's a lot more focus placed on her, especially as we're getting into what happened inside Martin Ellis's house and like that whole untangling of that secret. I think Holt was really great. Like she portrays this Marianne, like in the first up, she has like a sort of Marianne Ginger quality to pull from, to make an old show reference, Gilligan's Island. She has that like a down to earth, like sweet, like yeah, she's the popular girl, she's the edge girl, but she's not like a jerk about it. And then to see her just be so like trapped and the pressure, and to see how Martin Ellis just repulsively like enters her life and manipulates it's a very innocent performance. I would say like if Aurelia is the Norman Bates, Holt is the oh no, what's her name? Played Marion Crane in Psycho. She's someone who is not a perfect person, who doesn't make at all always good choices, but there's a level of innocence that when the horrible things do happen to her, it hits really hard because you see that she's just trying to figure it out. She's just trying to like go with what she understands and she's the information she's been given, and like to see that like tainted essentially, it's such like great. I think it's such a great performance, and I think between these two, effortlessly, just the show revolves around them. If the show does go into an anthology route, it's going to be really hard in my opinion to top these two, because like, and just top the conflict overall. Like, can we talk about like I was watching the finale and I was like, this is one of the best setup uh finales and situations like I can think of in recent television. Just like no, we were in the finale and still I mean, at least I personally couldn't put blame on any one of the girls. Like, and that was the big thing about this show as a whole, and it gives me a lot of Cobra Kai vibes. And Cobra Kai, like especially like the first season, there was no per se good guy, bad guy. There was just two different sides. And Cruel Summer, of course, took that and magnified it and got into it a lot, got more into the gritty nitty of it. And Kate Wallace, she was kidnapped. She like I would not wish what happened to her upon anyone else. And, it was psychological and emotional manipulation. And then you have Jeanette, who like who um, who is just was this innocent girl who just wanted to feel seen, and the choices they made, um, you know, it, you know, one condemned the other, one like is like twisting the other. It was a remarkable situation because you see that for this court case, and you're like, nobody, it's anyone's ball game. It's anyone. At least when I would watch the show, the Freeform would have a thing on the side where it'd be like, are you hashtag Team Jeanette or hashtag Team Kate? And the great thing was like you have valid reasons for either person. you could go either way, and no one's necessarily at fault. It really shouldn't. It is a character versus character, but in a way it shouldn't, because both these girls are just the product of just like manipulation from beyond, and like it's a very complex, complicated series of events that I have to give a lot of credit to the writing, telling the story in the way they did, of like choosing a specific day and then telling it apart across three years. I think that was a very great way to just and get the whole picture, not have like one flashback heavy episode. They really like expanded on the Martin Ellis, Kate. I hate to call it relationship, because it just it's repulsive what he did to her, but like just that entanglement and how that unfolded. Like it would have been easy to just have him kidnap her in the first episode, but they really just spent a lot of time developing and going through this. And similar with Jeanette and how her relationships are developing. It's across 3 years. It's a very complex series of events, and it's a very complicated just like story. And I have to give praise that I never felt lost. There were maybe a few times I didn't know where certain things were going, but I would say, like, if I were to go back and rewatch, I would understand most of what was happening, how things were building up upon each other. As for the rest of the cast, well, actually, just one more thing on the writing. This show very much not mimics, but it takes a lot I feel like, from Gone Girl, David Fincher's acclaimed 2014 film with Rosamund Pike and Ben Affleck, just in the way to talk about how like media can just utterly destroy a person's life without laying a finger. Like it is haunting how, especially in the finale, when you see Kate uh, admitting that she was wrong and that Jeanette is innocent, and the media almost immediately latching onto her and asking her how she feels being a liar and how she feels like being wrong. And I was like, my God, she's still like she's just like she like she's just like figuring it out, and already the media is like hounding her. It's like haunting to see how they operate, and to see the depiction of the media and how like it does match similar, like how much impact and influence they had to have on a person's life. It's very just fascinating. And to see that, and what I like is that the show saw the ripples of this as well. And that, again, going to that no good guy, no bad guy, with the exception of Martin Ellis, of course, to see how each girl's family and friends were like similarly twisted, and they felt the ripples of this awful series of events. It's very fascinating. Everyone performed incredibly well. I'm just pulling up the cast here. Harley Quinn Smith as Mallory, Barry Garnahan as Jeanette's brother, Derek Turner, another Cobra Kai alum. Alias Barnes as Vince. Michael Landis as Jeanette's father, Greg Turner. Andrea Anders as Joy Wallace, Kate's mother. It's a very just realistic and dark look at when something as just emotionally intense of an event happens. The road back is not easy. The road back is something that is years in the making. And, excuse me, and it just feels like um ironically enough, this feels like just the beginning of another chapter for them, which again goes back against my season 2 anthology claim or desire. But it's a realistic look at how, you know, at just the after effects, the ripples, how it can affect everyone, how recovering from that does take a while. And it's a very just fascinating show, an entanglement of just sort of trauma of emotional and mental and manipulation, and sort of just also like sort of just like figuring out where you fit and what society wants from you. It's a very fascinating show. It tackles so much stuff amidst balancing this mystery, which is just both in a way one of the more straightforward mysteries I've heard, once all the pieces and cards are really on the table. But it's also just, I got thrown left, right, up, center. I haven't seen like this, and Superman and Lois like fulfilled my twist quota for the next 5 years. Those Superman and Lois and Cruel Summer have thrown me for the loop like 8 different times in the past few weeks. It is insane, and it's really just a very fascinating show. It feels slow at sometimes, I will say that, but I feel it's just because they're feeding you parts of the puzzle, and like I will be surprised that I will be interested to see like in a binging format if we were just to watch all 10 episodes straight, how much different the experience was instead of like waiting week for week and not knowing who's gonna get the focus, who's gonna get the mic next week, and so forth. It's on Hulu, which means its chances of getting binged excessively might be lesser, just because it's not like Netflix. You put a show on Netflix, it's gonna get popular automatically. Hulu, I'm not sure to that extent how much the effect will be, but I hope it does. The show is not. I can already tell from I have not seen any discussion about the show. Nobody seems to be talking about this, even though it's one of the best put together mysteries I've seen in a while. It's a fascinating look at media, and between these two performers, unreal performances. And I think like to have put so much on them on their shoulders, it's really crazy, and they pull it off and then some. So overall, Cruel Summer, probably my second favorite new show of this year after Invincible. Of course, it's it's fascinating. It is emotionally intense. It can be hard to watch sometimes, but it is powerfully acted, well written, and I do hope that at the very least, Aurelia as Jeanette just gets some recognition, because this is a what a crazy, just Norman Bates-esque performance. I think there's a lot going on here, and here's the season two, whatever format it may take, whether we continue with these characters or we get thrown a whole new rabbit hole. So until then, take care, stay safe, peace out.